What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Path of the Network Marketer. It is day 43, episode 43. All right. In today's episode, we're going to talk about culture, right? And how important is it actually? Is that right? Is that correct English? How important is it actually to the health of your business? That sounds so wrong, but I think it's correct English. How important actually is it? There we go. That's a little better. How important is culture to the health and longevity of your network marketing business? Um, Again, this is one of those observations and what I've heard. Well, yeah, just what I've heard in passing or in different network marketing conversations that I've had recently, and it's so funny people's perspectives on culture. What culture is for me is it's community, right? And what that particular community, the overriding kind of character and personality traits of the community itself. What makes a community tick? What's cohesive about the community? There are cultures that are more driven by profit. There are cultures more driven by connection. And there's no wrong or right, right? Like there's no good or bad. It's just again different personality traits kind of gravitate towards each other. Um, that said, the whatever the culture is, whatever the community that you've created and the culture behind that community, culture is still tremendously important, right? It's tremendously important. And I would wager to say that creating a community built on connectedness is actually stronger than building a community built on production, right? Built on production. Um, Again, we get into this profession. At least I did, right? Like again, this is my opinion. This is my perspective. You can disagree all you want, and whatever works for you, great. But for me, I got into this for lifelong residual income. I've been with my company for 13 years. I don't plan on going anywhere else, right? And so, um, I've largely my organization and the company as a whole, as a matter of fact, Yoli as a whole, we've done very well at building a community of connectedness. Um, sure, sometimes for some individuals it takes longer to create profit and to grow their business, and that's normal. And here's the thing: like I'm never going to leave that last person behind, right? Right? In the wolf pack, I saw this on the internet one day. You know what I mean? You have the wolf pack, that's traveling together, and they have the strongest in the front, the like kind of the more vulnerable, and so and so forth towards the middle, and the very last person in or the last individual in the wolf pack, in that formation is the leader in the very back because they want to make sure that nobody gets left behind, and that's kind of always been the principle that I've led with. Um, and and so I want to make sure that there is a high level of inclusion for everybody, no matter what their production level is, right? Because I'm not tying your worth or your value to your production, to your output. Sure, I'm going to do my best to help you produce, and culture doesn't only mean lovey-dovey kumbaya, right? Of course not. That's silly. I mean, like we're talking about life and realities of business. However, I'm not going to leave you in the dust just because you're not producing. And I'm also not going to say, I'm not going to rest and believe that I can get you to do anything that you're not ready for. I like to meet people where they are. I'll give you every tool and every advice and every perspective that I'll need to give you. However, if you're not ready to make that next leap, it doesn't make you any less valid or any less important in my organization, right? Nor does it make my methods any less viable. It's just that it's not your time. And I say this from the perspective that it took me frickin' forever. And if I was surrounded by leaders who were only interested in my output, um, well, yeah, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I think the telling thing is that you know when you hear people describe culture and their communities as one of, well, yeah, part of caring about people is giving them tough love and helping them produce. And if they're not producing, then I'm not doing my job. All right, so like, yeah, are you really caring for that community? um, if you've left the company? Right, right, what are you really chasing then? Like your actions speak louder than your words. Are you chasing success for them, or are you chasing success for you? Right, right, like, because if culture really mattered, if you really did care about the community as you say you do, then maybe you wouldn't have left, and maybe you would have helped and be more inclusive with the people that were maybe struggling, and that maybe weren't ready, or even if the individuals that are still around, who have never made a single dollar or made a single sale in your organization, they still belong, right? They still belong. They're still important. And if we can give them nothing else except that sense of community and connectedness, then to me, I mean, that's a win-win, right? That's a win-win. We're one more community and group that person can feel a part of, right? So yeah, yeah, it's a really interesting thing, culture. I believe, I mean, obviously, all companies, all teams have their own unique cultures. As I said, the most dominant prevailing cultures again are, profit driven, and production driven cultures, or the connection driven cultures. I again, from, and even if we're just talking about business here, right? Like, I am of the belief and experience that if you build a culture of connectedness, if you build a community focused and centered around connectedness, your business is going to last longer, right? Your business is going to last longer, because if a culture and a community is built on production and profitability, then there's always another company to chase, and there's always another team to join, or there's always a new deal, to go hunt down and headhunt, right? So that's my perspective on culture. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you guys have any opposing thoughts or ideas about that, again, I don't speak in absolutes. I would never say that my perspective is the only right one. It's just my perspective. I know what's worked for me, and I believe it will work for you as well. And that's why I share this stuff with you on the show here. So anyways, that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. More to come from me. Well, yeah, episode every day. So if you guys aren't already following or subscribed to the show, make sure you hit that follow and subscribe, because there's a new episode. Excuse me. There's a new episode every day, brand new, fresh, just for you. So until then, be well, be safe. I'll see you in the next episode.